One. Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Cover for the Guys. I'm your host, Marquise. Got a special guest here with us today. Ant, how's it going?
What's popping? What's popping, my guy? I'm excited. Free agency has been crazy.
Yeah, it definitely has. We took a little break. We're still gonna be on a little break. We just had to do this episode with all the crazy free agency signings that we've had going on. As you can see, Terrance isn't here with us. He had his third child about a week ago, so he actually welcomed a little girl. So, his family is a family of 5 now. Happy for him. He'll be back soon when we come back all together in a couple. I say probably like a month or two after the draft. So we'll see then, but we'll let him enjoy his family time and stuff. Ant's been holding it down with the fly route, and I've just been in school. Took a little trip to Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. It was nice. A lot of walking. Got my calves and legs hurting because walked everywhere because we were just downtown. So starting off with the first quarter segment, we had a big news in Tampa. Brady returns and pretty much ultimately says, "Fuck them kids. Like, this retirement isn't for me." What you think, Ant?
Man, I think everybody says that, but you know what was probably a little bit more likely? He got home and really just started messing up his home life routine, and Giselle got annoyed with this man. Like he don't know how things are supposed to be moving all the time because he's always busy. He out here messing things up. She got it all, like, she is probably at this point got it all running like a well-oiled machine. And she's like, "All right, bro, go take your ass back. I ain't mean it no more." And he's like, "Really? You sure?" And she's like, "Yes, go. It's fine."
Yeah,
Because he
that
never wanted to retire. He said he was retiring for his family. And I think, like, she was like, nah, it's all right, bro. You good. Go back. Go back.
yeah, I met dudes in the army, bro. If it's time to go home, them boys will stay at work. Like, they're like, nah, we're good. We ain't gotta go home. So yeah, maybe home life is just rolling without him, and then he's just like, all right, I need something to do. We had Carson Wentz. He gets shipped off back to the NFC East, but with the Washington, the new name Commanders. So how do you like that move for the Commanders?
Well, first, I should have just stayed at the football team because, like, Commanders is actually worse than the football team. But, like, it's an upgrade over what they had last year.
With
That is
Heineke?
the, yes. Heineke ain't bad. They also still have Heineke there. And, like, they never wanted Heineke to be the starter. It was supposed to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. That didn't work out. Carson Wentz rejuvenated his career last year with the Colts. He played actually very well if we just think about it. All in all, through and through, he had a much better season than his previous, like, what, one season, maybe two.
He was MVP conversations early on, like for a little bit.
He should have never been there, but that's neither here nor there. They give up 2 third-round picks for that, right? Like, that's not bad. That's not bad to upgrade your QB position. What I think is significantly, I'm not sure how it will end up working out in the long term for the Commanders, but I feel like you had to make an upgrade. This is not a bad choice to make. Now, granted that later on they found out that, Matt Ryan went for 1/3, they might be a little salty because they swung too fast. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you did
Like
bring that
that.
up too, swinging too
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. Like they might be a little bit salty because they swung too fast in free agency on grabbing Carson Wentz for more capital than someone like Matt Ryan went for.
Yeah, that's
We,
that.
we also see Baker Mayfield's available now too. I don't know how you feel about Baker v. Wentz, but, like, these are all things where the
They got to
Commanders
consider
were
now,
desperate. Yeah.
and they
They were.
went too early. They pulled their card super early and didn't let the dominoes fall, like you said earlier off air when we were talking about it. So, like you said, the Colts finally landed quarterback with Matt Ryan. I do think that's an upgrade. Ant brought it up before we talked about it, how he's consistently put up high numbers in passing yards. He has the most passing yards from what was the time period,
I
Ant?
think it's 2010 to now.
Yeah, so you are going to get someone that can handle the ball. He'd probably give you less turnovers than Wentz, and he's going to have a run game. In Atlanta, I don't care what nobody says, for like early on he had a run game, but the last, I said, 2 years he ain't have a run game.
He's going to do all the things that Carson Wentz couldn't, right? He's not going to, if he turns the ball over, he's not going to turn the ball over in, like, key situations or in the stupidest imaginable way possible, right? Which are the two which were two issues for Carson Wentz this season. He's not going to do those two things, and he's also not going to check out of a bunch of run plays because he wants to be the guy that makes it happen.
Yeah, I think
right. He's going to rely on that run game, and he's going to love that. Now, his biggest issue will be the Colts are really devoid at wide receiver weapons at the moment, right? But like that is not saying all that much considering what he had to work with last year.
Yeah, he's gonna have Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman's a stud. But other than that, I mean, he dealt with that for a while. They didn't even use Kyle Pitts until like week fucking 4, it felt like.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens there. I got a big question. Are the Cowboys doomed? I personally believe the Cowboys are not doomed, but they're not getting the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to get a Super Bowl.
What makes you feel doomed? What's doom and gloom about the Cowboys?
I don't think they're doomed, but I'm just wondering if you think they're doomed. I would say they kind of screwed themselves a little bit.
How?
You didn't bring back Randy Gregory. You instead brought back DeMarcus Lawrence. You let Amari go, and you just gave Michael Gallup all the money coming off an injury. And you're betting on CD Lamb being the number one receiver. I don't think that's a solid bet.
Here's what I'll say. So you think they gave Michael Gallup a bunch of money? You are wrong.
Oh, break it down.
Because Michael Gallup's deal is 5 years long, under $60 million. He is not making top wide receiver money. He's not even making mid-tier wide receiver money, because like mid-tier wide receiver money is going near $20 million a year now, right?
Yeah.
He is on 5 years, $57 million. It's a huge number, right? But that's because it's a very long contract that they knew they could get him to take.
In the grand scheme of the thing, it works out for them. But I'm saying, what if he doesn't produce? Like contract wise, it's not going to hurt you. But since you let Amari go, he doesn't produce. How does that work?
If he doesn't produce and you have to let him go, only like $23 million of this contract is actually guaranteed. Yeah. So they can actually get off of him for like 1 year of like mid to high level wide receiver money. Like what's his name? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, it's not
come back.
It's not detrimental to them. I just think it's detrimental because they let Amari go. Weapon wise,
they had to let Amari go.
No, yeah, they had to for the cap. But I'm saying weapon wise, that's where I'm saying I have the problem with it. Cap wise, I get you, but as a weapon thing, all you have is aging Zeke, who they probably want to get rid of, but they can't.
Yeah, that's
they have CD Lamb, and then they have Michael Gallup coming back off the injury, and Dalton Schwartz. Dalton Schwartz did good last year. He boomed for them.
Look, I actually think CD and Michael Gallup will be strong as a duo. Like, you got to think about it. They are each going to get significantly more opportunity than they got before.
Yeah.
And while Amari Cooper is ridiculously talented, an amazing route runner, he also like just disappears frequently. And I think they couldn't afford that. They couldn't afford that at the money they were paying him. I just don't think it's doom or gloom. What this means is what it always means when you pay your quarterback like $45-50 million, right? He is going to have to carry the load and elevate the talent around him. It's an inevitable issue in which when you dump that style of money into the quarterback.
And I just think on the offensive side, they're not doomed, but they're near the, like, if there was doom and gloom, like doom and succeed meter, they're probably like in the middle and teetering going to doom. But the way they don't go to doom for me is there's still defensive signings that they can make that are still out there. There's ways.
I don't think they got better.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they didn't help themselves get better, but if they don't add to the defense, with whatever, is left in free agency right now, or like if they do a big draft, then it's going to go doom for me because, okay, you didn't add pieces on offense, but can you salvage together those pieces that you lost in Randy Gregory, who affects the passing game and the run game? And you got DeMarcus Lawrence, who he doesn't get to the passer as much as he does good in the run, which is fine because you do need a run stuff. So you got him there. But now can you add pieces since Gregory's gone to help that defense? Because if you can add say you get Bobby Wagner somehow, you pull Bobby Wagner, you could put Mike on the line then, like you did last year, full time, and be like, hey, you're going here. But they're moving Kenu Reed or Kenu Neal, I think, the safety. That was a linebacker. They're moving them back to safety.
Back to safety. Yeah.
So you're putting Micah back in middle, or you got plans for getting a linebacker. You know what I mean? So you can keep Mike on the line because I think Mike on the line is great. But the problem is you can't have him on the line if you don't have a linebacker behind him.
No, you're not wrong. I just think like they did not get much better, but they didn't get terribly worse. I also think they signed James Washington, like from the Steelers. I think he's a nice player, man. Though the Steelers have, there is something. The Steelers are just really good at drafting wideout talent. I just
They
can't
find them
explain
too,
it.
and they get them to produce for them too. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
they're
Like,
just really good at drafting wideout talent. And now James Washington, who I think has been more than a solid player his time in the league, but like he's been like a 3, right, on these teams, not really getting that much of run, is now with a significantly better quarterback than end of life Ben Roethlisberger.
and they got him on a 1-year deal. They re-signed Vanderbilt for a team deal for 1 year. They did get Dante Fowler, which isn't bad.
That
And
might be the linebacker that you're thinking of to allow
to Micah to play off the edge. But
yeah,
Dante Fowler really plays off the edge. Like, remember, he was an edger. They just they switched him to linebacker. So how do you really work if you put him at, you know what I mean? Just some things can be answered. If they can answer him on the defensive side, maybe, I don't think Dak's bad at all. But if Dak can play how the money they paid him in that aspect and play better, then you do have something there. I just think weapon wise it hurts them, and they didn't go exceptionally better. Like, they're teetering on the middle, like we said. But if the defensive side doesn't improve, they're going to me. If your gas tank is at half, you're going to a quarter to doom. So
okay, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I definitely think this is not a team that largely improved.
no, yeah. So we got that. Moving on to the halftime segment. Who was the biggest free agency signing for you?
Define biggest.
Biggest impact.
Biggest impact.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we talk about biggest impact free agency signing, for me, I think, man,
Who you got? You sound like you don't want to say it, but you know it.
I don't, but like, I think it might be Allen Robinson for the Rams.
I don't not agree with that because
They lost
Robert.
They lost Robert Woods, even though he could be coming back, but they shipped him off for a pick instead of banking on his rehab, right? Odell Beckham is also hurt, needs to come back, right? Again, right? And they don't even have him under contract, but they do have Cooper Kupp.
And they got Tyler Higbee.
They got Tyler Higbee, but what I'm saying, like receiver wise, they added Allen Robinson on a 3-year deal that is actually kind of cheap. Like, we were talking about that money, like he's getting paid like about $22 million a year, right? That's that mid-level money for like, well, mid-high end wide receiver, right?
Yeah, 3-year deal, 46.5 million, 30 mil guaranteed.
Yeah, he got the guarantee that he wanted. It wasn't as expensive as I thought it would be. And I think when it comes to the free agency market, he was maybe 2 or 3 as in top wide receivers on the market this season in free agency. I would say it was Devontae Adams, right? Him or Chris Godwin, depending on the way you want to move them. And Chris Godwin's coming off an injury. But I think that is definitively the top 3 wide receivers that were in free agency this year.
I think that's a good one. I think he will have a big impact because people forget Allen Robinson because people like, obviously it looked like he dogged the year because everything going on with the Bears. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he probably did. But I'm not going to act like I don't know who Allen Robinson is when he is engaged. So pairing that with Cooper Kupp, they're possibly going to snag Odell back too because they just shipped off Robert Woods. I think that's a recipe match made in heaven. And you got him for 3 years. It's not no 1-year deal where we're like, oh, okay, what do we do next? You got him locked in for 3 years. I think
3 years is good money for the team.
Yeah, because in all reality, he like teams that need a receiver, like whether it's the Patriots, whether it's the Ravens, they could have put more to get him and been like, hey, like, can you come here? Because those are teams that need a receiver. If you think about it, I mean, the Rams probably did need a receiver, but they didn't need that type of receiver. Like, they didn't need a star-studded receiver in Allen Robinson, who like is a star. He's probably not in your elite echelon of receivers, but he's a star receiver. They could have got away with getting like a step lower type of receiver. You know what I mean? So we had that.
You got to ask yourself, is Allen Robinson not a star receiver because he's never had a star quarterback? You got to think Allen Robinson has been putting up these 1,000-yard seasons with like who he was.
You can't even name all
the Jaguars.
Yeah,
with the Jaguars.
Can't even name all of them.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, whoever the Jaguars quarterback was before Trevor Lawrence at that time. So it was probably like a mix of like Minshew, Foles, and Blake Bortles.
I think
Then
it's crazy.
Foles and Mitch Trubisky, like 2 years of straight money in Chicago with between like Foles and Mitch and Chase Daniels. Like I'm like, this is going to be the best quarterback he has ever played with in his career.
Easy. And I think he's a star, but I think it's like they didn't need to have that receiver to still be successful. But now they got that receiver. Sean McVay, he's a guru. He's about to work it to his full advantage. You already know Odell when he's not injured. They'll throw the Cleveland threw trick plays in him with him throwing the ball. The Giants did. So just imagine you're gonna throw a trick play where there's gonna be 2 options, 3 if you count Higbee, that he could throw to. And it's like, oh, well, we know you can kind of actually throw the ball. So
I like it. That's why I think it's like
it is underrated.
Value for what they should get out of this world for me.
Definitely. For me, the biggest free agency signing, I'm gonna give it to the Bucks. It's not a signing, it's just someone unretiring. And him, Tom Brady, the GOAT, unretiring created a domino effect for everything Tampa was able to do. Because in all reality, Tampa, I wholeheartedly think if he stayed retired, was losing every one of these players almost. They were able to keep Godwin. They tagged him, then got a deal done.
I think that deal might happen no matter what because of the injury.
Yeah, so they were able to get that. They got Carlton Davis done. They were able to get Jensen done, and they got Jensen done because Brady came back. Because
Lenny just came back too.
Lenny just came back. Jensen, I was willing to bet was either 50-50 between us and Cincy. He was either gonna come back home to Baltimore, or he was gonna go to Cincy to play with Joe Burrow. So you got that. They ended up trading for Shaq Mason from the Patriots. So they lost 2 guards, Alex Kappa, and then I forget the other guard. He retired, and he said he's not coming back. He's in school. So you lost him. They lost OJ. They lost OJ Howard. In all reality, they were probably going to move off OJ Howard. They just hadn't did it yet. But I still think
Gronk will come back.
Yeah, more than likely, Tom's going to talk Gronk into coming back. So all these dominoes fell their way. And then they also got the big what if they can go get Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know if they will. Like if they could sign Honey Badger, because they do need a safety. The issues that they still have for the Bucs team is their secondary. And then I don't think their offensive line got much better with just replacing 1 guard when you lost 2. And then the other thing is for me, when La'el Collins became available, if I was the Bucs, I would have traded for La'el Collins, moved Tristan Wirfs to left tackle, put La'el on the right side, or vice versa, whichever one was comfortable going to the left, and move Donovan Smith to the bench or put him at guard, because I don't think Donovan Smith is great. I think he's okay plug-in player, but I feel like between having Tom Brady back there, I would rather have someone that could protect him a little bit better and not get a holding call every 2 seconds. So that was my big free agency signing. So shout out to the Bucs for actually doing that. I gave him kudos, and I never do. The worst free agent signing for me was Christian Kirk. This deal, I don't know. Player wise, it looks great. Every player that saw Christian Kirk get paid is like, yep, I'm getting the bank thrown at me, because I've never seen. Maybe I have. I just can't remember a receiver 3 get this much money from a team. And
it's if you have to overpay.
Yeah, and he's going to be receiver, I think 2 or 3, because they got Shenault. Marvin Jones is receiver 1, junior, the older cats. He's receiver 1. 2, they said Schultz available, so maybe he slides over to 2 and not 3. I don't know. That wasn't the best signing to me. What about you, Ant?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to argue that one, right? Because it's like it's pretty huge. I will say I did not like the Kirk Cousins extension for another 35 fully. Okay, I know I've done this.
No trade.
I know I've done this a lot, right? But like Kirk Cousins' agent has to be the best agent in the NFL. Like they signed him to another fully guaranteed $35 million to extend a year. And it's just like, I think this Vikings team as currently constructed has already peaked.
I think for them, that if I do, like you said, they peaked. I think paying Kurt is the was the wrong idea. I mean, I don't know if you could have traded him anywhere in all reality, but I don't think I would have. It's a 1-year deal, so granted he'll be gone, but his money is guaranteed. That's the other
It's
thing.
a 1-year extension on top of his year. I think he had a year or two already on his deal. So
Exactly.
like they did it to they extended him to rework his cap number, right? So like it makes sense because they're just trying to field a better team this year. First year, new head coach. They got the OC from the Rams, Kevin O'Connell,
But
right?
they're still hurting in the same factors they were. The secondary's hurting. Like, you got Harrison Smith, but all you have is Harrison Smith. You did get Zadarius Smith coming off the back injury. You don't know if that's going to pan out. Maybe it will with Daniil Hunter. I think that's a good pairing to have, but hopefully that pans. You got Kendricks at linebacker, which is, I think he's an exceptional linebacker. But in all reality, I'm not paying Kirk Cousins no more to keep robbing me, essentially, because he's above average, but not by much. Like, he is like average, above average. He teeters on that line. And the offensive weapons he has, I feel like if you would have put any of these top 10 quarterbacks we talk about in his situation with those weapons, he's getting farther than them. Like, they're getting farther than him. There's no, like, the defense can be bad, the line can be spotty, but if you're going to tell someone, hey, you're going to get 2 receivers and you're going to have Dalvin Cook full time when he's healthy, like, there's no, like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not against that. I also just feel like they are kind of putting off the inevitable.
Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna have to go quarterback searching, and to
They
me, I
did.
don't.
They got one in the second round last year.
They got Kellen Mond, and they don't
Yeah,
play him.
yeah.
I don't know if he's not developing, but at this point, like, I'd be willing to try it to know, like, okay, next year I definitely need to go get a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be willing to play Russian roulette with Kellen Mond for a couple games to see, like, okay, like, you're showing, or like, and we can go with you, or okay, we know we can't go with you at all, and maybe that's why they extended Kurt on the extension. Like, hey, we can't go with Mond. We need Kurt to be here, because at some point they're gonna hit the thing of you're gonna have to pay Jay Jettas. You're gonna have to pay Justin Jefferson. Not yet, but it's gonna get to that point. And the way he's playing, he's gonna command a good deal, easily good deal. So you got that happened. Saints bring back Jameis, 2-year deal, 25 million. I've been seeing 15.2 and or 21 guaranteed, somewhere between there. I think this is a big deal for the Saints because he was 5-2 before he got injured. We already know the defense is loaded. They brought in Marcus May from the Jets after losing the safety to us, Marcus Williams, in free agency. I want to say it's Marcus Williams. I always say this, man. Get the names confused.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah.
Yeah, so they signed him and they brought over old boy from the Jets. We snagged him. Make sure I get the credit right. So I say buddy's name right instead of botching people's name like I always do.
Marcus May, and are you talking about Contavious Street?
No, we got Marcus Williams. They got Marcus May. So I just want to say I was saying Marcus's name right. So yeah, they were able to plug and play that hole. And then it's just, I think the Saints are still going to be a good team. Mike Thomas is going to be back this year. Alvin Kamara, we don't know whatever happened legally with him and punching Buddy in the face, but I haven't heard anything about it. So out of sight, out of mind type of thing, I guess, is going on there. But Buddy did get dog walked by Alvin Kamara and his couple of his buddies.
I forgot about that.
Exactly. And you ain't heard nothing. So I'm guessing it's no harm, no foul type thing going on there.
Or he just paid the bread and kept them moving.
Exactly. So you have that going on.
I don't believe in the Saints, man. The Saints aren't going to be good.
I don't think they're going to be great, but I think they're going to be a challenge for the Bucks. Like, regardless, I think they're going to play their best games against the Bucks.
You got to think about this, right? They just lost the mastermind of that organization for the past 2 decades,
and they're rocking with the DC to step in.
Which the DC is great, right? He's clearly been able to lead a great defense, but that's the problem. Now he is no longer able to control and lead that defense.
I think
he has to do a lot more
on the offensive side and do a lot more on the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think that's going to hurt their defense. He's not the same offensive mind as I think Sean Payton. Like,
it's going to hurt their offense, like you said, for sure, because it's not Sean Payton. So I'm not going to lie. I think it's good for Jameis because Jameis gets to stay where he was at. I don't know.
I love it for Jameis.
Yeah.
Like, I like Jameis getting his opportunity, reworking himself back in the league, Why not? 2 years, perfect.
You get the money, but defensive wise, I think it hurts them offensively and just the change from Sean, maybe, but
Mhm.
defensively, I don't think it hurts them because they have a bunch of veterans. Like they have veterans and they were able to get Marcus May. Like I think they do need another corner on the other side of Marshawn Lattimore. They always needed that. But I think they're okay defensively with who they have. I don't think they're going to be doomed there. But like you said, you had the guru at offense. What the fuck do you do with Taysom Hill now? This, this is
And all
million dollar
that money you gave that man.
Exactly. Million dollar question right there. Moving on along. What team won free agency to you?
uh, okay. If you, mm, here's what I'll say. I got like there's two options for me, and I feel like it's either the Chargers, right? And I just really like what the Chargers have done, grand scheme, or it's the Browns, just because they got Deshaun Watson, no matter how much they had to actually give up for Deshaun Watson, right? Because that is a franchise changing move if we are just being honest about it, right?
Oh yeah, it's changed your whole franchise regardless. Because we're not gonna
Yeah.
act like he's not a better quarterback. Hands down, better quarterback.
Yes, but the Chargers, on the other hand, like they are going all in on the like we have a rookie quarterback and a lot of money, right? Like they got Khalil Mack to put like next to Joey Bosa. Sorry,
It's Joey. Nick's
yeah,
on
it's
the
Joey.
Niner.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yes,
You good,
exactly.
you good. They
Yeah,
brothers. It's all right.
yeah. They got like so now Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa next to each other, and then they added J.C. Jackson, who is Mr. Interception, my guy, on a big deal.
Asante Samuels, too.
Yeah, like they locked up Mike Williams too on decent money. Like I just think that this team has gotten significantly better on the defensive side of the ball, and I won't say they got like significantly better on the offensive side of the ball, but I feel like
It didn't
they,
hurt.
no, they didn't hurt, but what they needed on offense was just to be more consistent with the players they already had. Like you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, you got a fantastic offensive line that you partially drafted, partially bought last year already. That's going to get better with another year with each other. And then you also got Austin Eckler, like at the running back position, like, and of course, another step forward for Justin Herbert, which people are calling the heir apparent. Like it is just to me like
A big
this
splash.
team altogether has gotten significantly better. Like the Browns just like they made the big move, like at
Yeah,
the most important position.
you're saying the Bill or the Chargers made collective moves as a whole. I definitely like the Chargers. Like you said, they got Mike Williams. They signed my boy Gerald Everett. I think he's underrated. Not great, but he's underrated. They got him on a 2-year deal. They brought back Chase Daniels. I don't know for what fucking reason, but they have him.
You just need a backup quarterback.
Yeah, they signed JC Jackson, like you said. I think defensively it impacts them. I think the only position they're hurting at, I would say, is in the middle at coverage linebacker. Because Khalil, when healthy, impacts the run and the pass. He's pretty nasty at both. I think the issue though is you can't like how does it work? Because they dropped Joey into he was an edge and they put him at linebacker to help the linebackers. So and granted, in the scheme of things, he just comes onto the line anyway and occasionally drops back in the coverage. But now you have the issue is if him and Khalil are dropping back in the coverage, they're not going to be the best in coverage. And I don't think they'll ever have a situation they drop both. But
In
even
fact, they're gonna fuck around with people on who's dropping, who's
who's
coming.
dropping, who's
Yeah,
going.
that's gonna be dope. Like they're gonna fuck with people with that.
Yeah. So I just think that's the only I was talking to Terrance about it. That's the only hole where I think they lie is like if a team eats them up, attacking like, okay, one of these dudes are coming and one's not, and we're eating apart the one that has to pick up someone in coverage or like intermediate, like in zone or something. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the only knack I have there. But they can still they can address that in the draft. I feel like that's not end of the world. Maybe they could find another safety to put on the other side of Derwin. And then they do have Derwin. Derwin's Swiss Army knife. He's great. You put him in the coverage. I just think if you put him in the coverage, your other safety has to be exceptional. But I could see them bringing back Chris Harris Jr. I don't know if he's still under contract. I think he's a free agent, but they have Asante
Really?
saying, yeah, I think Chris
Oh shit.
Harris Jr. is a free agent. So I think that's the only piece I want them to bring back. They bring him back with Asante Samuels and J.C. Jackson. I think that it's going to be a scary sight. They pretty much are tired of not making the playoffs. What's up, Ant?
No, yeah, he's 100% a free agent.
Exactly. So I think you have to bring him back because although Asante Samuels is nice, he was a little banged up last year. He's a smaller corner. People are gonna when he lines up to go guard Devontae Adams for some reason. If JC doesn't follow Devontae Adams is gonna abuse the man. That's what I'm like. You need to go get another corner. So we have that. For me, I will go the team who won free agency is the Bills. Much how, like you said, the Chargers built their whole team as a team. Listen to what the Bills did. I thought it was insane. They got Jamison Crowder on a 1-year deal from the Jets. He's underrated, I think, because he was stuck on the Jets. That's a nice.
No, I agree. He's been so consistent.
You got Duke Johnson. Speed kills. It doesn't hurt to have him in the backfield. They lost Matt Breida, so that works. They got Jake Kroom. I don't know how he's still around, but whatever. They got Isaiah McKenzie, who showed up big for them last year. They got OJ Howard, which I think is a big signing for them to have on top of Dawson Knox. Although I don't think he's going to get the same amount of snaps or take away snaps from Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is spectacular. But having OJ Howard paired with Dawson Knox, if something happens, God forbid, an injury, or just like, reps in to, help him get reps, type deal. If he's tired, I think that's great. Then they got Roger Stafford from the Titans. Titans released him. They signed him on a 1-year team deal. He is older, so they did only lock him in for a 1-year deal. That will be a good placement because the guards and stuff they had were younger. So let those dudes develop, but you also get a veteran right there that can play. They got a center, they signed their center to extension. You got Shaq Lawson. That's a big deal. And then they also got
was the biggest one.
They got Daquan Jones. They got Tim Settle. That's an underrated pickup. And then they signed Von Miller to the most insane contract I ever fucking seen someone get. Don't know how this man got this deal at 30. I don't fucking know. He's 31, I think. He got a 6-year deal for $120 million. 51 in guarantees, average of 17.5 million per year. I know who Von Miller is. He's a fucking animal. I know that. I just think the deal is kind of crazy. That's the only knack I have on that from the Bill standpoint. But it looks like they're like, hey, we're going for it because the last thing they've been lacking is a pass rusher. So I think this is going to help Greg Russo develop. It's going to help Ed Oliver. So in all the grand scheme of things, they got way better on the defensive line because Greg Russo's from Miami. He's a young dude they drafted last year. Ed Oliver, you already know he's a big bully in the middle, but he can't really bully as much as he wants. Putting Vaughn on the other side, if he can be healthy, I'm going to say it now, the Bills might be my AFC Super Bowl pick with me and Terrance, and if Ants around, do the picks. What you got?
All right, here, this is my thing. They made some pluses here, but my issue was they lost a lot too as a team.
Yeah, no Emmanuel Sanders, no Cole Beasley.
Exactly. So those wide receivers that they got, they actually lost more wide receiver talent than they added to the team.
We got Gabe Davis though, and I think they're betting on Gabe.
They already had Gabe. You know what I'm trying to say?
So you're saying the four lost some value.
Yeah, they lost more wide receiver talent than they gained. Matt Breida v. Duke Johnson, I think is kind of a wash. That's what I'm like. They did get better on the defensive end, especially on the defensive line. But this team shedded a lot of talent to make these moves and make these additions. So is their offense better than it was last year? I don't think so.
I think that's the $1 million question because unless Gabe Davis and OJ Howard, that tandem or just the tight end tandem of OJ and Dawson Knox snaps because you let go of Emmanuel, Cole Beasley's gone. I think Gabe and obviously Stephon's going to get off. I think that's going to be fine. We lost Brian Dapel, the offensive coordinator, so that's going to be another interesting thing. But I think defensively, you got way better. It's much like how we said the Chargers as a unit got better, and then how they did. I think defensively, the Bills, I give the Bills Mafia, got way better on defense, and they were already number one in points per game last year and takeaways or something.
Man, I was really yes. Okay, first off, you are correct about that stat. I just want to say that.
Yeah,
their schedule though.
Oh no,
a lot of Jets, Jags nonsense in that schedule.
But I will say they do benefit from what a lot of teams don't have. They have a tandem at safety with an elite corner. A lot of teams don't have two. I'm not gonna say great, but two good, efficient safeties with an elite corner. Normally you only get one, maybe two. You ain't getting all three. So the fact you have all three and you're gonna get a pass rush now, you got You still got Edmonds. You still got Milo, the dude that Lamar made look silly. You got him. So I still think, like, just off that, the defense did get better. If Vaughn can play 2 years for you healthy, fully healthy, give you what, say like 15 games in the next 2 years, I think, hey, you're sold right there. So moving along, we had that. Uh, what team didn't improve enough or didn't improve at all to you? Yeah.
For me, it's the Packers. The Packers got worse. Like, yeah, come on. We got to be honest, right? We got to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's honest.
Look, like they kept Aaron Rodgers, which isn't an improvement. It's just you are where you are. You've lost possibly the best wide receiver in the league, right? You lost some good defensive pieces, but you got to keep a couple others. Like your number one wide receiver now is Alan Lazard.
He's receiving
Right.
it. He's under a free agent tender. So maybe someone wants to snag him, which I doubted, but
No, they're not going to give a pick for that.
yeah.
Like your number one tight end is coming off a season-ending injury, right? That's Robert Tanyan. Like this team did not really get better. This team got worse. Granted, the division is going to be relatively easy, which is
I think that's what they're betting on. The division is going to be easier, so it's like, okay, we can get this done type deal.
You got to win playoff games.
And what you lost, I don't think you can win those. You could take those deep runs and lose in the NFC Championship game. The way it's looking, I don't know if you get to the NFC Championship game with what you lost. So I do agree with you there. For me, I'm gonna be a homer and say it's the Ravens. We were talking about it offline. They didn't improve, and I watched every AFC team that they're gonna have to battle it out with get damn sure better. So that's the only problem I have there. We'll talk about it later.
Even in your division, every team got better.
Exactly. So we talked about swinging and missing. They didn't even swing at some stuff or attempt. So I think that's just where the problem is. You're not gonna have Lamar on he's on his 5th-year option, so you're gonna have to pay him. He deserves a blank check. So let's get that out of there. And all the people that got paid ahead of him.
What's going on with that? What's going on with that?
I think I don't think it's on Lamar's side. I think it's on the Ravens. I think they were trying to get him wrapped up quick. And I think Lamar was more under the impact of, I do want to break the bank, but I want to see what I can do before I break the bank. Because you break the bank, or if you get to the Super Bowl and win like Mahomes did, granted, now the Mahomes deal looks ridiculous because it's like, okay, well, all these deals are getting crazier. But his deal,
every time you break the bank, the next person is going
to shatter it in front of you. But yeah. I think he wants to shatter, and I think he genuinely does want to win a Super Bowl. But I mean, I'm on page with whatever money he wants. It's up to the Ravens to cough it up because you got your quarterback leading your team in rushing. The offense revolves around him rushing, and then you don't get him no type of elite receivers. Granted, we said Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, they took the leap. Thankfully, them boys took the leap. They stopped dropping the ball last year, or was it the year before? They used to piss me off tipping the ball in the air. Jeez, that was crazy. But so that was that. All right, moving on to the third quarter. The AFC is looking like a war zone and not Call of Duty. I don't know what is going on. It's looking, whatever quarterback makes it out with his team and say if he wins a Super Bowl is going to have the best talking shit resume to stat up against someone to be like, yes, look at who I went through. Who are your top 10 quarterbacks?
All right. Look, you're not going to be happy with some of these, but it's important to keep in mind not just what they have done, but what we are thinking they are going to do and what they've done recently. So at one, I feel like you just have to put Patrick Mahomes there.
That's easy, clear cut.
It should be undisputed at this point. I think Josh Allen solidified the number 2 position with that duel in the playoffs with the Chiefs this year. Like that was big for them. Now at 3, and this is people are going to think this is a little high, but I'm putting Joe Burrow at 3. Like he came, he saw, he conquered. Like what are we saying? Year 2 Super Bowl? That is Mahomes level shit. Mahomes is in his 2nd year after redshirting and going to a Super Bowl. Granted, he won the Super Bowl, but still. 2nd year, in the 1st year, he got hurt and missed half the season. 2nd year, he came through, took his team to a Super Bowl, most importantly, with no offensive line.
That is true.
He has solidified that 3 spot for me. I like what matters is you win playoff games when we talk about this list of people. At 4, I'll put Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar. I hope for the best. Last season just was kind of rough. He got hurt. The entire Ravens squad got hurt. He wasn't able to take that next step that we all wanted to see him take. At 5, I got Russell Wilson. The Russell Wilson slander needs to stop. Like, I get Russell Wilson hasn't dominated the league in the last couple of years, but outside of last year, he's consistently led a team that has been undermanned outside of like maybe the wide receiver spot to the playoffs.
Yeah, that
Right?
line's been bad. That line,
Yes.
boy.
Line's been bad. Running backs aren't terrible, but they're not league topping. Defense has kept falling and falling and falling and falling each and every year, even though that's Pete Carroll's calling card. Like Russell Wilson, we need to put some respect on this man's name. This is going to be 6.
Yeah,
I got Justin Herbert at 6. I just can't not believe in this kid. He has all the tools. He's mobile. He has a huge arm. He seems to be getting better at such a fast rate. And the thing that distinguishes him from my number 7 is that he played last year. All right. Number 7 is Deshaun Watson. I understand Deshaun Watson was like a top 4 quarterback in the league the last time he played, but Deshaun Watson has not played in over a year. There's a chance Deshaun Watson would not play at the beginning of this upcoming year. And he
there
will
ain't
be
no
going.
chance, bro. He probably ain't playing at least 6 games.
Okay, so we're on this. So look,
That's
I will take that. It's very helpful for what I'm trying to say right now. So there's a chance he won't play for like the first 6 games. Let's call it 6, right? Going to a new team, completely new system, completely new players all around him. Like, it's going to take Deshaun Watson some time, in my estimation, to come back and see what we expect from him, which is why I cannot have him higher going into this upcoming season. Next, I have at 8, Matt Ryan. I like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is going to be the best quarterback in the AFC South. I think that should be an undisputed fact. Matt Ryan is very talented, but he will be dealing with a relatively depleted wide receiver core, also going into a new system. But I'm a fan. Next, I have Derek Carr, and I feel like Derek Carr is good. Derek Carr keeps showing people that he is that guy, and now he's going to be playing with some real shit. He has Devontae Adams.
He has the potential to jump into that top 5 if he has an insane year.
Like, and I think he should.
Weapon wise, he's geared up.
Yes, like Hunter Renfrow is one of the best route runners in the league. People need to put some respect on his name. I said it. Have you seen the? Oh my God, Hunter Renfrow. Okay,
there's like 6 dudes I got ahead of him easy. And I'm talking easy, but he's a great route runner. So he's top 10, top 15. Yeah, probably.
So there's some guys that you have ahead of him, but the difference between them and Hunter Renfrow is they are not super small on the football field.
I don't know. He's not small.
Compared to guys like Devontae Adams, compared to guys like Nuke, like compared to a lot of the people you think, Hunter Renfrow was not as big as you would believe. He is 5'10". He is a 5'10" receiver. Look it up. I'm telling you, he's 5. Like he is like, that's what I'm saying. He plays bigger than he is, right?
I never knew this man was 5'10". I thought he was like at least 6 foot.
No, he's 5'10". He just the things he does to people
makes it seem like he's a bigger dude.
And that's because he's one of the best route runners in the league. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to say. It just doesn't make any sense.
I'll give that boy some more respect because I definitely thought he was a bigger dude.
Yeah, he's not, but he is that talented. Like third and Renfrow is the thing for a reason, because he is going to get that release and get that separation, and he gets it on demand. That's the thing. He gets it on demand.
He was getting that with, sometimes he might get the best corner, sometimes he might, or the best corner is going to Waller. He's getting the
Waller was hurt so much last year. He was getting the best corner.
But now you look at it, he not going to get the best corner.
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. So I think with Renfrow, Waller, and Adams, like Derek Carr should vault up on this list significantly.
He don't vault at least 5. If I'm the Raiders, I definitely move him because there's no way if we somehow
moving him.
No, they're not.
The reason why
you got Devontae Adams is because he wanted to play with his college homeboy and you want to go back home. Yeah. So who else you got on this list?
At 10, the only person left is 10. That's Ryan Tannehill. Look, Ryan Tannehill is above average. He just
had a bad ending last year.
And honestly, some of those weren't his fault. Like receivers were just dropping
dropping
or
like
tipping.
flies.
Like not even just dropping, because like you rather have a receiver like just let it go through their hands, but instead of the drop, they were like, tip off
It-
the hands,
Bro, they weren't
flies
even.
into the corner's hands. You know what I mean?
They
Like
didn't
that's
even have the elite receivers on the field though. That's the thing. I'm not even talking about them tipping the ball. I'm talking about not even having your dudes on the field. Because in all reality, to me, they should have kept Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith, and it's showing like, damn,
yeah,
we should have kept both of y'all. And in all
yeah.
reality, I don't think they offered Corey Davis a contract, and I
Um,
don't know
I think they
about the
wanted,
job.
think they thought they were getting Julio Jones, so they wouldn't need him.
Yeah,
And
well,
then they found out that they actually really needed him because
they
Julio
cut.
was having trouble staying healthy, so they had to
Yeah,
cut him.
and they cut him. And I think in all reality, Julio's gonna definitely have one more good year. And if you get two, it's a stretch. But I think you get one good one out of him for someone. But you're
You might
betting
get
on
some years out of him in the Sammy Watkins role, like low number of snaps. You're actually now like the third guy, fourth guy, not the second or
yeah.
first.
He could probably
And
help a young core, but if or go on a stack team, but you can't have him go to a team like, hey, we need you to be the clear cut number one Atlanta
yeah,
Julio. I don't know if you get that anymore. You might get it for a season, but don't bet on like, hey, I'm gonna get 2, 3, 4 years of this. You might
Julio on
get
a stack team is going to be disgusting. Low
yeah, like
snap count, load management basically is what Julio
Julio,
Jones needs.
Julio on that Tampa team, Julio on the Niners,
Chiefs.
Chiefs, Niners. Well, I don't think the Chiefs because they got Juju. If they didn't get Juju, I think it would work even better. But
No, I'm telling you, you want him on.
uh,
You
uh,
want him to be your third or fourth guy because you do not want to. You want him to be like he might get 20 snaps a game,
you don't want to
20,
rely on him.
25. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Sammy Watkins was like when he gets those 20 to 25, he's gonna get those plays. Some of them are kind of drawn up for him as a third guy. He's gonna be open and he's gonna break shit on people.
Yeah, definitely. I
But you
agree.
don't want it because he might get. It's just like
It might
he
fall
has a.
apart, and then your offense isn't rolling on all cylinders, and you were hoping on
Mhm.
that. So that was your top 10. I agree with you wholeheartedly through 8 through 10, with Matt Ryan at 8, Derek at 9, Ryan Tannehill at 10. I feel like that was real easy for me. 1, Mahomes cold cut, doesn't have to worry about it. 2 is Allen, because Allen, let's be honest, if OT rules are different or if the coin flip goes his fucking way, he's in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not gonna lie, he played amazing.
Oh, you think they beat the Bengals?
Uh, they beat the Bengals. They play them the next round. Yeah,
Like you say, he's in the Super Bowl, so he'd have
yeah,
to beat the
yeah. I think
Bengals.
he beats the Bengals. Yeah. So you had that. I think him and Lamar do something that not too many other quarterbacks have to do. Maybe Kyler might have to do it this year, but they have to be the leading rusher or like damn near the leading rusher on their team for the running game to even work. And I feel like that's something if the Bills could have seriously addressed in all the moves they did with solidifying a running back, it would help them immensely because you can't keep running your quarterback into the dirt. I think Allen's great, but he does take them fucking Cam Newton hits. And that's the only thing I do not like about him. He doesn't slide and he damn sure ain't quick enough to get out of bounds like Lamar. So that's my only knock because he does just drop his shoulder. And in all reality, he knocks these motherfuckers over. He clears them and knocks them over. But the thing is, Cam used to do the same thing, and it just took a beating on the longevity of Cam being Cam. And granted, their styles are way different because Cam would run way more and do a little bit more. But just taking those hits when you are running is a big deal. I got Watson at 3. I know he didn't play for a year. He's not going to play for some time at the start of the year. But what he did before when he lost Nuke, and people were saying Nuke is what made Watson, it is he showed you Nuke is not what made Watson because people were not lining up to go snag Brandon Cooks like that. And people damn sure weren't lining up like that to go sag Will Fuller. I can't say his man's name. So I think he's 3, 4, and he's 3 because all reality to me, if he played, he probably would have been 2. I don't think the Texans would have made the playoffs, but he would have had insane numbers again. So then it would have been like, oh, well, this man just needs a team. And because for a while, I used to have Watson over Allen and Lamar. I think
Well, that made sense until recently for
until
Allen.
recently for this, what everything going on. But I think when Allen took this leap, Watson didn't play. With everything that happened, I think it was great for Allen easily. Lamar, I think what hurt him last year, I got him at 4, was getting hurt because he was in the MVP conversations because he was just riling these dudes back to wins or just having these insane games. Our offense doesn't roll unless he's rolling on both cylinders, passing and running, which I think is fucking ridiculous. But that's a topic for another day. 5, I got Burrow. All reality, if you want to kick Watson out of the mix and put him at 10 and move Ryan Tannehill to 9 because Watson didn't play, I wouldn't be too mad. I don't really harp on that. I get it. Like how Ant did his list. I understand it because he didn't play last year. Let's be honest. I wouldn't be shocked if he don't play for at least 6 games. I remember Big Ben, when he didn't play for like 4 or 5 games or something like that. So he and his allegations or his situation was different. So 22 civil allegations is, I don't know. Don't be shocked if Commissioner Goodell does some crazy shit like we saw with Calvin Ridley not being able to play for a year. He's like, bro, you ain't playing for a fucking year, you know? Which I think the Calvin thing is ridiculous, but that's a topic for another day again. 6, I got Herbert. He just got to get in the playoffs because we're gonna have to see if he is gonna, if the lights are too bright for him in the playoffs, or if he's just rolling like he's been rolling, and then it's the Chargers fuck up for not doing something. But I think the Chargers righted their wrongs in the past years, and they actually went and got people. So I think they're betting on, hey, we know he's gonna make noise if we can get him there as a team, because him alone is damn sure almost getting them to the playoffs. Like, let's be honest, what did they do? They didn't kneel out the ball against the Raiders or some dumb shit, and they would have been in the playoffs.
They called it. It would have been a tie if they had just not called.
Yeah, all they had to do was fucking tie. They're going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think that is just dumb. They have the coach and everybody else. I think is fucking stupid. On 7,
you gotta get it. He doesn't think the other team is going to play for the tie.
Yeah, exactly. That was the problem. He didn't think they were going to play for the tie, and they in turn.
So I won't call him dumb, but like I get it. It's just like
it didn't work out. Situation
Monday morning quarterbacking. You know what I mean? Like you don't think your opponent's going to play for a tie, especially when they're your divisional opponent.
Exactly. So they're not giving you no gimmies. I got 7, Russell Wilson. It's just because he's in the fucking QB gauntlet. Because in the NFC, he'd probably easily be top 5. Over here, I feel like all these young dudes are getting better. There's no Russell slander. I think it's going to take time for him to gel with all the young dudes. Not in a bad way, but just he hasn't played with them to get on the same accord. But I don't think he's going to take too many steps back. I just think the people above him are just going to keep playing damn near lights out. That's the only problem. Like,
this is going to be the best run game he's had since Beast Mode.
Yeah, I do see that. I get that point of it, but it's a new offense. And he's going to see different. He's going to another tough division again. So he didn't get away from a tough division.
Who cares?
You don't think it's tough?
I know. I say, who cares?
Oh, yeah, because he's played in the tough one. So I don't think he's going to impact.
He don't care. Like, other people being good shouldn't scare you if you're good.
No, yeah, I don't think it scares Russ, but I just think gelling with new receivers and everything. I just saw a video with him working out with Courtland Sutton. He hit him on a deep fucking route. Sutton dove out and got it. It looked fucking amazing. He threw the moon ball. He looked like he was working out in his fucking Russell boot camp shit that he always has where he invites people.
What's going on with Melvin Gordon?
He doesn't want to back up behind Javonte Williams, and nobody wants to really sign him. He doesn't want to be a second fiddle to him. I'm pretty sure. I would be a second fiddle if you just got Russell. Yes, I would 1-year deal you second.
It might be money. It might be money. Like it might not be like I don't want to be second fiddle, but they don't want to like pay me as if like
I'm not really a second fiddle. Yeah, and I think with Javonte Williams, even if they get someone else, I think they're fine with Javonte Williams. So I don't. And they got a tight end. They got a tight end, and Albert. I can't say this dude's last name starts with O. He's a tight end because Noah Fant's gone.
Ogunwume.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice.
Ogunwume.
He's going to be a nice piece to see how he does with Russell. But I got them like that. That's my top 10. That's Ant's top 10 quarterbacks. It's going to be exciting. I'm glad I get to see Watson, Lamar go at it like I got to see him in college. Who knows? Mitch might be good for the Steelers, which I think, honestly, he won't do great. But I think he is going to do good, which is good enough for the Steelers because their defense is going to carry him.
Like he should do better than the remains of Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's more mobile. I think he's going to go to a situation where they kind of buy into him because they weren't buying into Mason Rudolph, obviously. You already know the issues with Dwayne Haskins. So moving along, we talked about it. Devontae Adams was serious about last year being his last dance with the picks that him and Aaron Rodgers put on Instagram. He's now the highest paid wideout reunited with his college quarterback and Derek Carr. To me, before Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in this division, Tyreek Hill is no longer the best receiver in that division. It easily goes to Devontae Adams. Should be nice to see how him and his college quarterback reunite and how they gel. We have trouble brewing in Cleveland for Baker because Cleveland is happy. Well, some Cleveland people are happy because they got Watson. But now you got, what do you do with Baker's $18.5 million, I think, that he signed to? Nobody wants to take that money on. Do you release Baker or do you keep Baker and just say, hey,
Okay.
you're sit behind Watson because we know Watson won't play for a couple games and you can build your value up and maybe someone will take. And I think that might be a realistic thing. Or you ride with, they just signed old boy from the Colts, black dude. I forget his name.
Jacoby Brissett.
Kobe Brissett. So
yeah, he just came off playing I think he might have played 6 games.
Yeah.
He started last year for the Dolphins because Tua was hurt.
Yeah. And then snapped Tua.
So here's what I think. I think it's not that nobody wants Baker, it's that Baker has to be one of the final dominoes to fall at that money needing to be re-upped and with his issues, etc. You got to think about it. There were several QB hungry teams, right? But everybody was waiting for the Deshaun Watson domino to fall.
Sean, the Rodgers, all those dominoes fell. So other teams.
Rodgers only had 2 places to go.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But all those.
Once Rodgers re-signed, Russell fell, right? And then after that, I mean, after Rodgers, Russell, and I guess technically Carson Wentz because the Washington football team, right?
Yeah.
It was people stood pat for a while, and everybody was trying to wait for the Deshaun Watson domino to fall.
And the crazy thing was that, remember, I gotta throw my man Chris Phillips under the bus. He's part of the Ball Hawks podcast. They were saying Russell is not leaving. I remember saying no, Russell is not staying in Seattle. He's not gonna be there because Seattle did it backwards and they bet on their head coach. It's the fucking GM of. I'm not trusting Pete Carroll, but they bet on trusting Pete Carroll. So you had that domino fall, and I think that was an unexpected domino for some people. I don't think a lot of people.
No, I put out a video 2 months before the season ended saying
that he was
going to the Broncos, saying that it was going to be the Broncos. You can check it out on the YouTube. I put out a video 2+ months before the season ended saying that Russell Wilson was going to the Broncos.
You gotta
it was just classic Broncos.
You got to rerun that and put your give me my flowers on that. You got to rerun it. I'll retweet it and everything I'll post it for you.
I think I actually I posted a 2-minute clip on Twitter and I retweeted it when it happened. I told you, because it just makes perfect sense because the Broncos can't draft a quarterback. The only other time since John Elway that they've ever had success was buying a proven veteran quarterback in Peyton Manning.
And they're gonna get Russ for a couple of years, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
they're gonna get him for a couple of years. Moving on to the fourth quarter segment. Are you happy with your team's free agency moves? And are you happy? And then short synopsis, what letter grade do you give the Bears?
Look, we're at a B- C+, man. I'm not unhappy, but I'm not happy. I feel like we gave up Khalil Mack for too little. That is the first thing that kind of bothered me. If they had taken all of Khalil Mack's salary for both the years, I would have felt okay, second and a fifth is fine, but we are still paying 100% of his salary this season. But then we don't pay, we get all of it off of it next season. So I'm not a fan of that trade because of that. I feel if we maybe gotten a second and a third or something like that, I would have felt a little bit better about it. So that move I just didn't like. We've shedded a lot of talent, gotten rid of a lot of guys as we plan to change our defensive scheme, going to a 4-3. I will say I like the Lucas Patrick signing. We signed an offensive lineman. That offensive line was so bad.
Good God, it was bad. It's still not great, but it was.
No, it's still not great, but at least we started to try to make fixes to it. And I feel that is the most important thing to me, just because if we don't do that,
it can't nothing else be built on.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to develop Justin Fields and keep him healthy. Basically, wow. He is the future of our franchise. So
a C- or B plus?
B plus, B- C+ is what I'm saying. Okay. It's in that area because the Lucas Patrick sign is good. Brian Pringle, Equimania St. Brown, decent guys, but
placeholders until you got to start rolling into the further season.
And it's still early. It's still very early, and I understand why we didn't big money flash in the beginning of free agency, because we are just not that team.
It don't make sense to do it.
Trying to be that team right now, so I am not mad at our free agency.
You guys aren't
a lot to be excited about.
You aren't constructed there yet to take those big swings and be like, okay, we're gonna swing, and if we miss, we miss. But you guys can't afford to miss with everything else needed on the team.
You definitely can't miss on a big contract like that.
Exactly.
Like all the guys we signed can miss. There are a ton of 1 year deals.
One-year deals.
Deals can all miss. Like
exactly.
We're probably not going to be very good anyway. We finally have our own first round pick again next year. Like so.
I think they're okay with not being good, and which I think it's fine. They got a new head coach, right?
Yeah, new head coach, new general manager.
Everybody got to get on the same page, roll, let these receivers actually get with Justin Fields instead of not letting Justin Fields get the reps. We know Justin Fields getting all the reps this summer. He don't get all the reps. Oh my God, I'm gonna be mad for you. He should take every rep. It should not be any competitions. He should be able to gel with everybody.
We didn't sign anybody to compete with him.
No, but remember, Allen wasn't able to work with Justin at the beginning.
That's because Matt Nagy was trying to save his job.
Exactly. None of that shit should happen.
No, none of it's going to happen. Like, we still have Nick Foles on the roster. He's probably going to be our 2 if we can't move him because nobody has taken the Nick Foles contract.
Exactly. Nick just the old man chilling on the lawn, getting money.
I don't mind Nick Foles as our backup. He's kind of like a great mentor style guy.
He's gonna be good to have if you need him. Like if you need him, something happens, he can go win you a game. So that's nice.
He knows his position. He's really good at mentoring people. He's an honest voice in the locker room.
Hardworking dude.
I like it.
He's a good dude to have.
It's a lot of money, but we're paying for past sins.
Yeah, I like that pickup for you guys. I can agree with that letter grade, like a B plus, because there was no big moves that you needed to make. Like to me,
said B minus.
Oh, B minus. Yeah, my bad. B minus works because, like you said, if a big splash, you guys made too many big splashes, and they didn't instant result to like a deep playoff run, which I don't think it would have. If you could have made all the splashes, I don't think that team was making a deep playoff run. So I think that was a good start for me with the Ravens. We re-signed Pat Ricard to a 3-year team deal. We got Morgan Moses, the offensive tackle, older veteran from the Jets. We brought back Michael Pierce, which I was geeked about back from the Vikings. He was banged up last year, but I hope he's healthy because in the 2019 year, he was big for us, and then left and got the deal from the Vikes. We got a safety, and we did not gamble with the older safety like we did with Earl Thomas. And although I thought Earl Thomas,
he could play.
No,
that was never the problem.
That was never the problem. Earl Thomas did great for us, and I had no problem with him punching Chuck Clark because Chuck Clark be fucking up sometimes. I don't disagree with none of that. But morally, I know why they cut him because of everything going on. But they didn't make the same, not mistake, but they didn't have the same thing happen with signing Honey Badger and gambling on if Honey Badger was going to play great or if he's going to be the right fit, which I thought neither one of those would be a question. It'd just be a question of how does this work future-wise for us? Because obviously the Earl Thomas thing didn't work future-wise. And I still think somebody could go sign Earl and he could still play. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Earl.
I'm surprised he's still out the league.
Exactly. I'm surprised a lot of teams like say the Bucks or somebody that you put him on, he makes a difference. So I'm shocked with that. We got Marcus Williams from the Saints, 5-year deal, $70 million, $37 million guaranteed. I think that's a big signing. I don't agree with everything the Ravens have done over the years. I'm giving them C+. I would give them better if they did some more shit on the offensive side of the ball. And granted, they did 2 moves on the offensive side of the ball, but they just
sign Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, hand that man a blank check. Whatever the fuck he writes on there is what he gets. Because let's be honest, he's the only reason we're relevant. We even stay in games. You didn't win anything but 1 game against the Bears when Tyler Huntley in. So that just lets you know it is not going to be a good road if you don't have Lamar. They just need to swing because every other team got better. Every other team we're going to see in our division got better. Every team we'll see in the playoffs. If we get to the playoffs, last year we didn't make the playoffs. Part in the fact because obviously we lost Lamar, but I think if you don't get pieces and if Sauce Gardner is available at 14, you fucking take him. If you take somehow Kyle Hamilton falls from Notre Dame, which I don't know if that's even likely, but if he somehow falls, you take him too. So we'll see. I give them a C+. There's not too many more dominoes on the offensive side of the ball that could fall for them to get better with offensively. Defensively, they can still improve. There's dudes out there. Bobby Wagner's still out there.
Akeem Hicks is still out there, man.
Team
If y'all
Hicks is
want to
still
take,
out there.
yeah, he's
I'm
out
pretty
there.
sure someone can snag Deion Jones from the fucking Falcons at this point because they're in full rebuild. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. You can hand them 2/3 or something for Deion Jones. He's extremely fast, versatile middle linebacker. So we'll have to see.
What's
But
up with Calais Campbell?
he I think he's weighing the retirement and weighing because he came here, he's happy, but I think it's just really getting to a championship for him. I don't think it's not wanting to play. I think it's like, hey, if I'm gonna play one more year and not retire, like I want to get a ring, like and I don't know, like looking at the team, if I was him, I wouldn't go back. It's not looking like I'm getting a ring with them because they didn't improve as much as they needed to. Even before Zadarius Smith backed out the deal, that still wasn't enough to be like, hey, we're getting to the Super Bowl. There's still holes that need to be filled. And unlike, what you said for the Bears, like, hey, any big splashes wouldn't help us. Like they wouldn't drastically change the landscape of the team. Big splashes in our hand would drastically change the landscape of the team. Much how you saw the Bills, the Chargers. There's different things you could have got, and I just feel like they missed the mark on that. And somehow we never have any cap money, which I think is the most insane fucking thing. And we never get a high draft pick, so we're in this weird window of minush, I guess you could say. I don't fucking know what you want to call it, but I give him a C plus. I guess we'll see what happens when the season goes. I wish Greg Roman was fucking fired, but somehow somebody's attaching their head coaching job to Greg Roman. I'm like, I don't even use them on the Madden playbook because that playbook's so fucking sorry.
Hey, yeah, I was shocked that y'all fired Wink, but I mean, hopefully, I mean, I will be interested to see what he does with the Giants defense.
I don't know if he's gonna fully turn around. They lost Logan Ryan. He went to the Bucks. Logan Ryan went to the Bucks. I mean, defense, he'll probably turn around. They'll probably be maybe middle of the pack. You do need star players. The scheme, especially his scheme, it's super. It's complex because different blitzes come at you different ways. Different dudes dropping coverage. So I definitely think you're gonna need versatile, athletic guys. But I think Wink's a great dude, and I wish we didn't fucking fire him. So that's another issue. But moving along, is the Super Bowl window or closed? I'm gonna give you some teams. You're gonna let me know if it's open or closed. Saints.
Been closed.
Okay.
It was
Tampa.
closed last year.
Tampa.
Open. Yeah. Open. They got Tom Brady.
Niners.
Are they keeping Jimmy G?
I don't know if you got too many suitors other than the Panthers and maybe the Saints.
If they keep Jimmy G, it is, I think, technically open. With Trey Lance, it is closed for a couple of years.
I think with
It's gonna
Trey,
open back up.
I think it's with Trey, it's closed because you don't have another. They're not deep with weapons. If you had another weapon at receiver, they have Debo. Debo's a Swiss Army knife. They have Kittle. But if you look at, they have Mohamed Sanu, bro. Like they don't have weapons behind, like, and I'm not saying
But
weapons,
that's
but
because it's a power run game. So, like, it's okay what they have because they're going to get the run going with Elijah Mitchell, who was fantastic
they
breakout
bet,
last
they
year.
bet they bet on him over Raheem.
Yeah, but I mean, Raheem keeps getting hurt.
Exactly. But
So
the thing is, I just have an issue with, say if Kittle gets banged up again, or like Debo, like they're physical dudes, but they're dudes like if they miss, you're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Because you're lacking
that's the
heavier
game.
in the passing game than what you already are because you don't throw the ball that much, which is fine because you run people out you run them out the fucking game. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what wins games, especially late in the season. If you
Especially
can run
keeping dudes off
team,
the field.
yeah.
It's it
So I
works.
think it might be closed for like a year or two with Trey Lance, just because he's gonna. He was a very raw prospect in the first place. Only had one real season of starting at what was it, South Dakota?
Yeah, because COVID
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah. So
I think
like,
you're gonna have to play him. Like you can't let
no,
Jimmy go out there again because you're avoiding the inevitable and you're not giving Trey any playing time. You know what I mean?
okay, I'm with you there. Then I think it's closed for like it's closed probably for a year or two, depending on how he develops, and it can open back up.
Yeah, because that's a tough division, and if he's not there, it's just like you can't keep riding with Jimmy for what you gave up for Trey. Like
Yeah, no,
that's
I'm with you.
that's the weird thing I have for that. What do you got on the Ravens?
The Ravens,
Open or close?
the Ravens,
Yeah.
man,
I promise you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I'm realistic.
I know. I just like
If it ain't closed, it's about to be closed
it's
after this.
close. It's definitely closing because you're gonna have to pay Lamar soon, and you just have a lot of holes in the team. But like, would anybody be shocked if Lamar went on some like stupid run?
No,
Exactly. So I think it's like it's closing, but it's not closed. I don't have a lot of. I wouldn't put my money on the Ravens to get to the Super Bowl.
I think what they need this year, the Super Bowl is a big aspiration, but if they can get the AFC Championship, I think that builds a lot in that locker room.
If they can get to the AFC Championship, they might as well be able to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I
Like,
feel like for that locker room, like everything they went through, like with 19, you ran the tables in 19 and didn't go. Like
this
I
is the
feel like
team.
to me, that's what hurt them. Like I bring back the 19 year that you guys ran the tables that hard against everybody just to go out the way you did. I definitely think it left a sour taste in everyone's mouth, and then you just weren't able to get back into what you performed with. And what about the Rams?
Rams wide open.
Eagles?
Eagles closed.
Chiefs,
Open like Mahomes is Mahomes.
Chargers,
Chargers feels open right now.
Steelers.
Feels Steelers closed.
No chance.
Like I like Mitch. I like Mitch, right? I like Najee Harris,
Yeah.
but I just don't think the Steelers have what it takes to get out the AFC.
Okay, I respect that.
These other AFC teams that I've
They're
said
deep.
are open are just they're monsters.
Yeah, they are. So go see the Chiefs, go see the rejuvenated Chargers. They definitely are looking like the monsters off of was it Space Jam?
And they got to deal with the Browns now having Deshaun Watson.
I can't wait to watch those
in
games.
division. They got to deal with the Bengals, who now have an offensive line and that receiving core. Like it's just
They don't. It's funny. They don't got to deal with the Ravens. They beat the Ravens for 2 years straight. It's a fun fact. Haven't won a game against the Steelers.
Oh yeah, trust me. I know. I've been killing the spread. Always,
Bro,
always,
it is
always.
It is Lamar is. I think Lamar played in 2, or he played in 3. He got knocked out midway through the 3rd, and then he didn't play in the 4th game. Mm-hmm. But regardless, they've smacked them every time. My boy Blake that came on the show can't talk no shit to him because they keep beating us. So that's another one. Seahawks
closed. Like
yeah, I think the Seahawks are in this weird space.
They might be glued shut.
Yeah, like, if they don't find a quarterback, whether it's Baker and I think honestly in that offense, if you can convince Pete to stop fucking trying to do this play action, just insane, think someone's just gonna know you're not gonna throw the ball when you're gonna throw it. If you convince him to change it a little bit, I think Baker with those weapons, I don't think Baker's bad. I think Baker is respectable and he's good. You give him DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, I think you can get something out of Baker. I'm not saying he's gonna lead the Seahawks to the promised land, but I'm saying y'all can be competitive, relevant. If you're going full rebuild. If you're going full rebuild, I'm fucking trading damn near everybody else that's left on the roster at that point.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult. I don't really know what it's gonna look like for them, but like the Baker domino, I expect to fall, but I think the Jimmy G domino will fall first.
Yeah, Jimmy G's gonna have to get moved because I think people are gonna bet on having an adult in the room, as you could say.
Hey, look, it's just also like Jimmy G is a certified winner.
Yeah, he wins games.
Yeah,
winning games it's a team aspect, but he doesn't not win games. So he's part of the teams that win games. So maybe he can bring some winning culture to Seattle. But we'll have to stay tuned. We're excited for the season. We're excited for the draft. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We just wanted to get this episode out the way because all the crazy news that's been going on in the league. I guess the NFL looked at the NBA's free agency and was like, hey, we need to have something like this. And that's essentially what they had this offseason.
I mean, people have been saying this shit was going to happen for like a year or two now, and it finally happened.
Yeah.
People have been saying the quarterback carousel is coming. The quarterback carousel is coming for like at least 1 or 2 off seasons before this off season. And it's finally here.
Exactly. So I was geeked about it, but we'll be back in a couple weeks. Terrance probably back with us, newborn baby. That's always adjustment to everybody's schedule, but happy everybody had everything going safe and sound. And we appreciate you for stopping by. Let the people know where they can find you.
Always, you can catch me at the Fly Route Pod, all one word, on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Cover 4 with the guys. I'm your host, Marquise, and we'll see you later.